Oh. Welcome to Americana. We are back with all of the latest updates on the 2024 presidential election. I'm your moderator, Raquel Herring, alongside our Democrat host, Shakia Moore, and Republican host, Willie Montague. With just 19 days left until Election Day, we're in the final stretch, and every decision from here on out is absolutely critical. Let's dive into today's key campaign updates and see what's happening on the trail. Vice President Harris took the hot seat with Charlemagne the God on Tuesday, tackling criticism that Democrats often take black voters for granted. Take a look.
Do you feel like President Obama stepped on your rollout? Because I know you've been working on this black male agenda for a long time, and you've been doing the outreach, with your the Opportunity Economy Tour and things like that. Yeah. But then he made the statements that he made last week, so everybody thinks this is a reaction to that.
Oh, no. I mean, you just have to, no, obviously not. I've been doing this for quite some time, including before I was running for president.
With polls showing Kamala Harris struggling to secure support from black men, could this be a turnaround moment for her campaign? Shakia.
I think it could. I think it's not to say that VP Harris didn't focus on black men prior to the uproar about her not focusing on them. She's always been focused on the black community. She herself is black. Let's not forget that. But I do think that this is going to be a turning point for her campaign. Reason being is because she laid out 5 principles that she will be focused on once she's elected as president. So I'm going to say them because I don't know them by heart just yet. But she's going to be providing loans to start businesses. Yay. She's going to champion education and creating pathways for teachers because we need representation with black men. Yeah. She's going to be supporting cryptocurrency and other digital assets so that they are protected when doing so. She's going to launch a national health initiative that focuses on issues that mostly impact black communities. And then last but not least, she's going to focus on legalizing marijuana. And so I think those 5 things that she has laid out is because she went around in the community, she sat in uncomfortable conversations, and she's gotten the feedback from her supporters that say, hey, I know you're focused on everyone as a whole, but where do I fit into the pie in this puzzle? So I'm pretty happy, and I'm she should have did this a little earlier, but it's okay. But I think she's making great ground with what she's had so far. Yeah.
Willie.
Here we go.
Listen, she's been on the trail for 86 days.
Okay.
She could have come up with this plan before it started being, what are you going to do for black Americans?
Okay.
I think that her plan is essentially just offering money. I don't think that it's a real
Where did you get drugs from? Let's start there.
I don't think it's a real authentic plan moving forward. If you really think about it, her going on Charlemagne the God doesn't change the whole mindset of Democrats.
I'm sorry.
So this is how you get misinformation and disinformation. Because she didn't say anything about drugs.
So Willie was saying that it has taken her 84 days to get to this point, then to say these things, to lay out this type of plan, then why didn't she start earlier with this?
It wasn't necessarily a focus because she's concerned about America as a whole. So I just want to note that last month in September, the unemployment rate for black men dropped to 5.1%. Black men, regarding this past summer with the Wall Street Journal, mentioned that black men are actually leading in the labor force.
Oh.
So that is huge.
Yeah.
So it's been a focus for Black men in Black America.
Okay.
But she's just now bringing it to the forefront because they are wanting that attention, and she's giving it. So she's having the hard conversation. She's going around in the different communities. You can't please everybody, but she's for the community. She's for everyone. And I'm just trying to, Trump and his folks, like my co-host here, they just want to harp on the fact that she's been on the trail for 86 days, but she was vice president prior to that.
So we keep going
That's
on this. Just give me a little minute.
Okay.
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah. Claim your time, Willie.
Reclaiming my time. Although we keep saying that she was the vice president, I feel like, as it has been mentioned several times, that she's a strong Black woman. I think she could have put more effort to lay out a plan to nudge President Biden to do more for Black America. I don't feel like she should have just came up with this plan 86 days later, because it just seems like it's pandering. And you have to be honest. Even if you was the vice president at that time, you could have said, "Listen, I'm for my people all the way through." Vice president, what was it? She was the AG or whatever it was. I feel like she could have put some kind of plan forward before 86 days. It's simple to me. It's simple math in the equation.
But what's alarming for me is that 87% of Black men voted for President Biden in 2020. And so where we forget is that Black men, whether they are Democrat, they don't vote normally for Republican. They're either Democrat or they lean towards Democrat. There's a very small percentage of Black men who are Republican, hence my co-host. And so I want us to remember, like, we are not just focusing on the 13%. We should focus on the 87% who did at one point vote for Biden. And I'm pretty sure they're going to turn out and vote for Kamala as well in the next couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, we got to move on to that next one. Kamala Harris continues her media blitz, honing in on Black male voters. Meanwhile, Donald Trump participated in a town hall on the Faulkner Focus, where he vowed to end sanctuary cities and restore normalcy, speaking to all female audience. Harris currently leads with women in nearly all swing states. Willie, what key areas do you think Trump needs to focus on to win over more female voters?
So I know that right now the hottest topic that we're seeing right now is the abortion issue. And I believe that these women that President Trump is speaking to, those are questions that come up. He's already made his stance. I will not continue to beat the dead horse. But what I would say is, I think the number one thing that he needs to focus on is economic stability. It doesn't matter whether it's a woman, a man, or someone who just a first-time voter. If you don't have the right security in your pockets, you're not going to feel like anyone is going to be able to be represented if you don't have a plan that's going to help us thrive. So that's for both sides of the party. We need to know, how will we thrive under each administration? Because we want to have more money. I want to have more money. I don't know about nobody else, but I want to have more money in my pocket. And I do not want to feel like we're struggling every single month to make ends meet. And under this current administration, they have failed us on economic stability.
But can I jump in, or do you have
Real
a question?
quick.
Okay, real quick. I just want to note that if you looked at the interview with him in the town hall full of women, the audience was mostly white. Actually, it was all white. Except for the interviewer. And so 55% of white women voted for him in 2020. And so aside from abortion, the thing about, what did he say, restoring normalcy, to me that sounds like he wants America to go into like this Pleasantville mentality. And if you remember Pleasantville, it was a movie that was only for whites, the elite. There was no people of color. And so to use that type of language, to me, just shows that he doesn't want to have a diversified country, and he's only looking at a specific target of women, and that's just white women. So that's all I wanted to say.
He's been on plenty. He's been on plenty of journalism. Actual all-black journalists. He's was on that. Well, hold on.
That's the name of it. I'm telling you the name of it. NABJ.
Oh, okay.
National Association of Black Journalists.
But he's also laid out plans. I think that he has diversity, but the normacy is for us to get back to what we need to be.
Okay. We have the latest campaign trail updates, so make sure you stay tuned. Now it's time to move on to political programs. Studies show that Studies show that President Donald Trump's policies have delivered record-breaking economic results for African Americans, with unemployment hitting a record low of 5.9% and nearly 1 million new jobs since his election. The poverty rate for African Americans also reached an all-time low in 2017. Shakia, do you believe Trump's economic accomplishments could possibly influence African American voters in this election?
To be clear, he rode on the back of President Barack Obama's success with the African Americans and with the economic growth that he inherited. And so that's a normal trait of Trump. He doesn't know how to build things from the ground up. He literally just rides off the coattails of other people that come before him. And so with African Americans, the economic accomplishments, are we talking about him filing for bankruptcy 406 times? Are we talking about him being a convicted felon a number of times, actually 33 or 34 charges? What type of accomplishments are we talking about?
Well, let's talk about those accomplishments real quick. We have a chance. It's so many. It's so many. I had to write them down. Record low unemployment, 5.9%, as you mentioned. $1 million, 1 million job created for Black Americans.
This is from 2018. I want to note. This is from him when he was in office in 2018.
Reclaiming my time.
This is not current.
He's not elected. He's not elected.
This is the concept of a plan.
If y'all love to say,
if we can remember, this is the concept of a plan.
42.2% growth in Black home ownership. He supported minority businesses with tax cuts and senators for there. He gave money to and funded HBCUs, and he gave $200 million for STEM education. So the list goes on. He's done his job, and he's going to continue to do it once he's president of the United States.
But if you are really an elected official and you are for the people that you say you want to serve, even if you aren't in office, you should be able to do this whether you're in office or if you're not. So what has he done for HBCUs lately?
And what has Harris done as vice president? You just said she couldn't do nothing.
Trump
so
wants
why
to bring back stop and frisk. And we all know that is very harmful for Black and brown communities.
We're going to move on. Coming up next, find out what's been trending on social media, and we have the latest polls. Don't move. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back. Social media has been keeping us in the loop on the 2024 presidential election. Let's check out some social media updates. Republican Senator Ted Cruz and Democratic Representative Colin Allred clashed in a heated debate on Tuesday night, hosted by ABC in Dallas, Texas, as they tackled key issues in their closely matched race. Take a look at this clip.
This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins. If for the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority, because he's done it once, he'll do it again.
Shakia, what are some key areas that you want people to take away from last night's debate?
Ooh, honey, last night's debate was extremely spicy, if you watched it. But since then, Representative Allred has raised $1 million since last night's debate. And to me, that just shows that the folks in Texas are just tired of Senator Cruz, his lack of leadership, his poor leadership after 12 years. And the people are just really ready for something new, something fresh. Although he's a current congressman, he is running for the Senate race as well. So I just want to note that a part of his debate last night, he mentioned about what took place on January 6th. He described that he took off his jacket and he pushed furniture to block the door because folks were storming the Capitol, which many Republicans are still refusing to acknowledge and admit to. And so he said he remembers looking over his shoulder and seeing that Senator Cruz was actually hiding in a supply closet. So if that is any indication of how he feels about his position as an elected official, I just want to encourage those who are in Texas right now to make sure you go out and vote. You vote for folks who are going to actually have your best interests at heart, who is going to protect democracy. That's all I got on that. If this is
not the most theatrical debate and story that he told of, you know, I'm pulling my jacket off and I'm running there. And at that moment, now mind you, they're storming. And if anyone know about adrenaline, you're focused on what's ahead of you. But at that moment, he just happens to look over his shoulder and pinpoints Senator Ted Cruz and sees him hiding in a closet. And Ted Cruz refuted that was not what happened. And so this is what we need to realize.
To insinuate that someone's life that was in danger is a theatrical performance. It's actually nuts.
And over and over and over about January 6th. As I said before, that was January 6th of 2020, not 2021, not 2022, and definitely not 2024.
But do you think it represents character?
We need to move forward as a country. Democrats waste so much time and energy trying to bash Republicans over the head about January 6th. Every Republican was not there. Every person, when heightened tension comes, whatever happens, you don't know how you're going to respond in the middle of an emergency. And so to make it seem like he was just insensitive or not aware of his surroundings or whatever. And again, the doors was open. It was proven. The videos were released. The doors were open. They didn't just storm in. They were let in, and it was a coup.
Ooh,
and that is where I stand with that. Ooh. And we as a country have to move forward past January 6th of 2020, or else we will not be able to have a unified front. I am tired of the left wing laziness.
Talk about lazy. You have a senator who was actually crouching in a closet. But that's his typical stance, because he also did that to Texans in 21 when the state was hit with a very hard winter storm. He actually left and went to Cancun. But go ahead.
Here we go.
All right. Elon,
2021.
We're moving on to the next topic. Elon Musk hits the campaign trail in Pennsylvania, a key swing state, after donating $75 million to a pro-Trump super PAC. Talk about what it means for the Trump administration, Willie.
I believe that it means growth. I see that, $75 million is quite a good amount of money to be able to get some things accomplished. And I believe that we've seen from the beginning, we spoke about this here on the show, that Elon Musk is, of course, 100%. He said he was going to put all gambles forward for President Trump. And I think putting that $75 million is him putting his money where his mouth is.
My grandma used to say, all money ain't good money. So you have somebody who's trying to pour that amount of money, it's gonna come with the price. And so if we elect Donald J. Trump and his cronies into office, we are going to reap the harvest of whatever deal him and Elon Musk have going on.
Well,
and not even to just say Elon Musk, anybody else who is in cahoots with Trump, we are all going to reap the horrible harvest of this manifestation.
Well,
That's all I'm going to say.
I know Trump criticizes the influence of big tech and companies like Google. He's being backed by Elon Musk, who owns major platforms like X. Does this relationship undermine Trump's claims for fighting big tech dominance? And how does he reconcile his stance with support from a key figure like Elon Musk?
So I want this to be very clear. When President Trump and anybody else on the Republican ticket or side, when they speak about big tech, they're talking about from the angle of this continued overreach that they have, this censorship that big tech has been doing. And so this is not President Trump coming against technology as a whole. We're talking about big tech corporations that come in and they are pretty much in cahoots with the government to muzzle the mouths of free-thinking American citizens. And so I do not believe that this is going to impact the relationship between President Trump and Elon Musk. And anything is just more of that he's probably getting information from Elon to say, hey, we need to do something about these companies that's going to grow too big and have too much control over and muzzling the mouth of American people.
But not Elon Musk, though.
Elon Musk is not trying to muzzle people's mouth.
Who says?
He's not. Elon Musk is not trying to muzzle. He literally said it himself. He has released the ban and suspension off of many people that was on formerly Twitter.
And on that note, let's check in on the latest polls. Former President Donald Trump is once again leading the race in key battleground states. Earlier this year, Vice President Kamala Harris held leads in 3 of these states, but the momentum seems to have shifted. Now Trump has taken the lead in 7 swing states for the first time since Harris got into the race. With Trump now in the lead in several swing states, Willie, do you think Harris can regain her footage as the election approaches?
I've said this over and over. She never had a footage. What I can tell you is that moving forward, President Trump is going to secure the victory on November 5th, 2024. The swing states, as I said, it was a honeymoon, and that honeymoon is over. She is burning herself out all across the country as she goes. She cannot answer questions. She cannot stay focused on a set agenda. Of course, she typed out a little graphic from Canva to show us what she's going to do for black people. Congratulations. But other than that, she is failing at being the actual representative that we need in the White House. And so this shows you here that people across these 7 states are not believing the bullcrap.
My opponent is every spitting image of his daddy, Trump. The man talks exactly like him, but I don't expect anything different because, you idolize Trump. And so anyway, I don't think the polls are a true indication of either candidate at this point. I think it's a tight race. It's going to remain a tight race until the polls close on November 5th, not January 5th, as Trump told some folks the other day. The election is November 5th, 2024, Saints. So I just want to make it very clear. We're going to see the fluctuation every day because the race is tight. And so I just encourage those to continue going to town halls or going to the press conferences if they're in your area, doing your research and looking up things online for yourself, not just taking the words of folks who haven't been in this democratic process. Do your own research, do what's best for you, and go to the polls and vote. That's all I can say. And early voting has started in many states.
Well, good point, because with many polls are showing conflicting results. So you said that Well, let me ask it again. Do you think election polls are manipulated by the media to favor one party over the other? And are they still a reliable reflection of public sentiment?
I think there is. I mean, in journalism school, they teach us to be unbiased. They teach us to be not attached with emotion and to lead with facts. And so what we're seeing is a lot of Republicans who are challenged when they have reporters or journalists fact-checking them. They are led by their emotions, so they don't have any facts to back them up. And then when they are challenged or presented with things that are factual, they coward and they spew hate and like harmful words. So we see that a lot in the media. And so I think there are journalists who are out there with integrity and they are doing their jobs and they're asking the right questions. Obviously, you have your own personal opinion when you are a journalist, but I don't think that's not the focus of what a journalist is.
Mm-hmm. Willie, what do you think about that?
I could say that, I believe that they're accurate because I do believe they have to go to individuals. So I don't think that these are manipulated. Mm-hmm. I just believe that they do fluctuate. I wouldn't say that the polls is absolute, but the polls going back to Trump as it was in the beginning when Biden was running, I just think that is the most realistic version of what we see. So not saying that they're manipulated for either one, but saying that what we're seeing now is the most relevant ones for us at this time.
Oh, okay. Relevant ones. Well, I think that's fair. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your debate and your perspectives. Thank you so much for tuning in to Americana. Meet us here tomorrow night. We'll be right back here at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching.